Hi, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, and we're going to see another rocket launch. This is a busy week already. We just had SpaceX, the other day? I don't even know. Days don't matter anymore. Today, we're going to be seeing a Rocket Lab launch their Electron rocket, and tomorrow, there's another Starlink mission already on the table. So it's going to be a busy time. How are you guys? No audio. Come on. You guys can hear me, right? Right? Okay. Stop saying no audio unless you can't hear me. Okay, good. All right, so before we get started, of course, what we're going to do is check out our pre-launch previews. These are, if you ever have any questions about missions that are coming up, if you see one in your Twitter feed or you see it on YouTube of like, oh, there's a rocket launch happening, I wonder what they're doing, where are they going, what's flying, blah, blah, blah. I've got you covered. Just go to everydayastronaut.com, click on the pre-launch previews tab, and of course, you can see upcoming missions. So this is Electron in Focus is the name of this mission. I love that they name their mission something fun every time. So this is subject to takeoff. The clock has changed to 21:27 UTC, which is, as you can tell by my clock above me, 29 minutes and 40 seconds from now-ish. The mission name is In Focus, as we said. The launch provider for this is Rocket Lab, surprisingly, only one of two commercial, purely commercial identities flying, using private funds. Today. So far, just SpaceX and Rocket Lab are the only ones that have gotten to orbit. Rocket Lab's chugging along. I thought by 2020 we'd have, honestly, probably 2 or 3 others flying by now. But here we are, just SpaceX and Rocket Lab kicking butt. The customer for this is Canon Electronics. You may have heard of them. And Planet, which is a satellite company named Planet, not to be confused. They used to be called Planet Labs, if I remember right. So I don't know when or why exactly they changed their name to just Planet, but there we go. The rocket for this is the Electron rocket, which is the only rocket that Rocket Lab flies. This is taking off today from Launch Complex 1A, Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand. This might be we're getting really close to seeing them actually launch out of Launch Complex 2, which is the one they have in Wallops, Virginia, in the United States. They are technically a U.S. launch company. They are funded. Basically, they are a U.S. launch company, despite basically being entirely in New Zealand. They did that smartly so that they can, launch U.S. military payloads and things like that. So, if you guys want to, so in other words, what we'll end up seeing is they'll be able to launch, they'll be launching payloads from Wallops that they couldn't do from New Zealand, which is smart on their behalf. The U.S. military has some money. The payload mass for this is 80 kilograms, pretty lightweight. Of course, this is a small sat launcher, so it's not a very big rocket. These satellites are going into sun-synchronous orbit. Those are orbits that stay relative. The orbit is basically locked to the sun relative to the Earth. So, an orbit really will just stay where it's at, and the Earth will spin underneath it. But normally the orbit kind of has it's a mind of its own compared to the sun. It'll kind of be just floating out, but these are actually kind of locked into the sun, so you get the exact same lights. When the satellite flies over the Earth, the lighting will be the same no matter what. It's continuous light conditions, which is nice for imaging. If you're trying to take a picture of a cornfield or something, of course I say that I'm from Iowa, or parking lots or something like that, and you want the same lighting conditions every day, you stick that baby up into a sun-synchronous orbit. Will they be attempting to recover the first stage? No, this is not yet a capability of Electron. Don't forget Electron, on their 17th launch, they plan to do the recovery of their spacecraft, or the first stage of their spacecraft, which is awesome. I can't wait to see them recover the first stage, or begin to recover. The first steps of them recovering the booster will not be actually swooping it out of the air. It'll be just letting it gently splash down in the ocean. So that'll be the first attempt for them. From there on out, we'll see how it goes. I do have a video running down exactly how they're going to recover it. It is kind of a Wile E. Coyote process where they're going to pull a parachute, a parafoil, once they're in the lower atmosphere, and then swoop it up with a helicopter. And of course, this is possible because the Electron is very small. It's relatively lightweight when it's empty, only around a metric ton. And it's very dense. Unlike, SpaceX's fairings, people ask, could you do that same thing with the fairings? The fairings are about the size, they're bigger than a school bus. You could fit a school bus inside SpaceX's fairings. And there's such big surface area that you really couldn't just swoop it up with a helicopter. The turbulence from the helicopter would throw that thing around like a giant wing, and it'd be extremely dangerous for not only the pilot, but just probably a very bad idea. And they're doing okay so far with the net catching thing. So where will the first stage land? This one will crash into the ocean because they are not recovering it today. Will they be attempting to recover the fairings? No, this is not a capability of Electron. This will be the 15th launch of the Electron, the 5th Electron launch of 2020. So decent. I know they want to get up to that once a month cadence. They had a small setback, and of course the pandemic didn't help anyone out this year. But this was the 82nd orbital launch attempt in 2020. So there you go. If you guys want to learn all about the payloads here, so there's going to be altogether 10 satellites going into that. You can see these are small satellites. These are literally, CubeSats or small sats. And as you can tell, they're very small, which is why the whole payload is only 80 kilograms. But yeah, you can kind of check this out. If you guys want to read all about this mission, kind of more about the electronic 3D printed Rutherford engine, the electric pump fed. I shouldn't say electronic because really everything is electric and nothing is electric in the rocket world. But if you guys want to learn all about this, go ahead and read this article through it to give you a bunch of overviews of this stuff. So everyone say thank you to Ethan for writing this up. Say thank you, Ethan, and the rest of our awesome website crew for helping run everything and keep you guys up to date and help keep me up to date because this stuff is really hard to keep track of. So thank you, website crew. All right, how is everybody doing? Looks like we have from Mustafa Soilu and Floyd Clifton. We've got 2 new members. Thank you guys so much. But we have a real special treat in here, my friends. This is one of my best friends, Neil Price. Just dropping on in. Just popping a $5 off. Neil, you did not have to do that. I will pay you back in a beverage sometime. Thank you, Neil, and thanks for saying hi. Ian, also another. This is just a straight up hi from Ian. Thank you, Brian Clausen. How's it going? As always, love watching your content. I had fun talking engine types and watching my wife's eyes glaze over. Keep up the great work. Yeah, that is a real concern when we, when we're this deep in the woods with this kind of stuff too. So, oh. All right, and then from Kenneth Kroll says, if you could name an orbital class rocket, what would you call it? Geez, I have almost no idea. I'd want to name it something. I'd want it to be something ridiculous because I feel like everything takes it pretty serious. SpaceX doesn't always take themselves too seriously. Neither does Rocket Lab with their mission names. But I feel like I'd want it to be like something just dumb, like mayonnaise or something, or just something really stupid, I had named a motorcycle one time Commander Cat Veneer and his Vam Howard Silence. So I think maybe I would name it something like that, so people are like, and tonight is the 17th launch of the Commander Cat Veneer and his Vam Howard Silence. I think it'd probably be something like that just to make everyone, all these people in ties and like the NBC people being like, sorry, what? The Pluton run of the 33rd co-opted Manifest? That's the name of the rocket? That's what I'd do, just for fun, because why not? From Stefan says, it's the description of the sticker. Thank you so much for sending a pair lifting some weights, saying keep it up. You are welcome, and I will. We have a new member from HOJ Simpson. Thank you very much. Paul from Norway says, dude. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. I'm not entirely sure what that's exactly in reference to, but there we go. In chat, we've got Thrusty McThrustface. Of course, that would be a great orbital class rocket name. Yeah, Thrusty McThrustface / or like the ultimate gravity turnerometer or something. Like something really dumb, just something dumb. Because why not? Sean, thank you for your membership. I really appreciate you. Where did it go? Boop boop. Thank you, Sean. From John Clayton. Let's see here. This might be okay. So, if I want a rocket engine, where do I have to take my boat to try to grab the booster after it hits the water? How long will it float? Floating may vary, especially, it depends on how hard it hits the water. Something like the Electron right now, as it stands, the Electron, is made out of carbon composite, the outer skin. Carbon composite is extremely strong until it's not. It doesn't have like a fatigue, like if it hits something hard, it's going to shatter basically and crack. As opposed to metals tend to bend, or they have this big point before they absolutely like snap or break typically. So the Electron, if you went and found this rocket, it'd be, I think we figured it out here in our article once. Hang on, let me see if I can find this article. I can show you about how far down. Actually, if we go to, I don't even have to do this. We can just go to flightclub.io. Declan Murphy would have all of that. Do I not have an article for this? How Rocket Lab's going to catch its rockets? Maybe I don't. Maybe I forgot to tag it. But yeah, if we go to flightclub.io, which is Declan Murphy's website, we can actually check out. Oh, actually, here we go. What is this one? Starlink. Here, this is. I don't think he has this one, but he does have one of 3 up for this. Let me show you guys this profile real quick and launch it, and then run simulation. I'll show you guys. You can tell basically exactly how far downrange this rocket will be thanks to this awesome website, flightclub.io. And look at this here. So the altitude, the first stage booster wound up reaching a peak altitude of about 170. This was for a different mission, but they're a relatively similar profile. Let's see here. So, do we have a downrange distance? Crap, I don't think we do. But, if it's anything like SpaceX, it's going to be relatively similar to the Falcon 9, so probably something like 500 to 800 kilometers downrange or something. And sorry, I'm giving you a long answer because I'm trying to actually think about it too and how we can actually figure it out. But something like the Electron, it would likely sink very quickly because I'm guessing the pressure vessel would actually break on impact. Something like the Falcon 9 has, when it has propulsively landed on water, they've had to go and make sure it sinks properly because it was just going to sit there and float, and you could have stolen those engines if there wasn't people there. But yeah, you'd have to go maybe not grab it from on top of the water, but dive down and do it like Jeff Bezos did with some F1 engines. Thank you very much, Gary T. Thank you for the membership. Oh, we have Heathen New Zealand from New Zealand. Love your work. Keep it up. Hey, you too, New Zealand. Really, really appreciate the rockets you guys are building with Rocket Lab. And I appreciate the beauty of that country. Holy crap, that is a gorgeous country. Yeah, get me back there. I can't wait for this pandemic to be over because I am ready to visit freaking New Zealand again. This is from Ben Lonergan. Will there be a live stream? Is there going to be a live stream on November 9th? Because that is my birthday. I can't tell you when a live stream is like tomorrow because rocket launches change like every time I like refresh, our website or refresh like Launch Library or Launch Alarm or any of the other apps, that the launch times change literally on the day. I can't predict. That's why it's so hard if you want to get into anything like what I do or what, NASA Spaceflight does or any of the, even if you're just in the aerospace industry, I'm assuming, and especially if you're like on the actual launch team, someone that has to deal with the schedules of rocket launches, it's a nightmare. Like I've joked about this before, and sorry if this is an old joke, but I used to do wedding photography. So I would oftentimes have clients and dates booked up a year or two in advance. Like I'd have a weekend on my calendar. It's like, I can't do anything that weekend. So I hope my friends aren't doing anything cool because I'm stuck. Like I am stuck with this thing on my table. And rockets are the exact opposite. It's like, I have this event that I want to see, but I don't know when that event is. That event will change literally every day, especially stuff like Starship. Starship, even the static fire was a nightmare to try to guess and figure out based on very limited information. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you if there's going to be a live stream on the 9th. I hope there is. I always hope there's live streams. I love watching rockets. This is from W4L, hashtag buy Tim an Iron Fund. Hey, yeah, I got that comment a lot. I know I'm probably guilty of it too, but I love, like, I put, a good month and a half effort into the Artemis versus Apollo video, and probably the biggest comment was that I needed to iron my shirt. I took it fresh out of the wash for the video. Noticed it was wrinkly. Tried, I don't have an iron here. I don't know why, at the studio. So by the time I got to the studio, I thought it'd be better. It wasn't, so I sat outside. It was really humid at the time. Thought, oh, these wrinkles will go away. They kind of did. I looked in the mirror. I was like, oh, this is good. Sat down, shot for 3.5 hours, 3 or 4 hours of 6K footage, this massive thing. Thought it was fine, uploaded it. We started editing, and I was like, oh, God. And I'm like, whatever, it's just wrinkles. But maybe I will begin to iron my clothes like an adult. Maybe I won't. You guys are going to have to stick around and find out. Dan Kerman says, a donation to your coffee fund. Thanks, Tim. You're so welcome, Dan. I appreciate that. Anthony King. So when should you book a seat to Mars? I'm not going to Mars. I'm not. You guys can't get me to go to Mars. You're not getting me. I got to see, too, if Rocket Lab's stream is up. It is not yet. They are a little bit behind. Just making sure I'm not missing anything, because that would be quite a shame. I'm not going to Mars. I'm not doing it. At least, Elon's at least thinking the right way. He does have a tiki bar now out of Boca Chica. So if he has a tiki bar, tacos, pizza, and a swimming pool, and an artificial, like a lazy river on Mars, maybe then I'll go. Maybe. And a gondola ride up to the top of Mount Olympus. Then maybe. We'll see. We'll see. This is from Christian saying, thanks for the great and entertaining information we always get here. Greetings from Germany. Well, hello, and thank you for hanging out and saying hi. You are welcome. I'm working on, so I kind of had this, so I literally have my entire video or the script done for 22 pages about Russian and Soviet rocket engine history. I wish I could say that that it's ready to go, but I'm having it be peer reviewed by a lot of people that are actual experts, subject matter experts. I want this video to be right. It is, of course, after all, history, so it's not going to change. And we've had to correct a lot of things that are straight up wrong. Like when, of course, Wikipedia is going to be wrong for a lot of things. Astronautics, as great as it is wrong on a lot of things. So we're correcting a lot of things, making sure that we have the actual facts, and maybe we'll be the pedantic ones on the internet, but we don't want to do that one wrong. So I'm waiting for some good feedback, waiting for a couple more people before we shoot that one. Meanwhile, I'm almost done with the script, comparing exactly like, how does Starship work? Because I get a ton of questions still, like every day, about how different aspects of Starship work. What's new about Starship compared to the Falcon 9? What's new about Starship compared to everything? Like what things are the same on Falcon 9 and Starship, and what things are different? And it's comprehensive. You know me, I don't just like list something and expect you to know what all those things are. I'm going to explain to you why these things are cool, why they're different, how it works, and it's going to be extremely comprehensive. By the end of it, I think you're going to understand how Starship works better than you have before. Because I'm even still, like I said, I always want to be learning something in every one of my videos. I'm now 11 pages into a script on it, and hoping to shoot that next before I go down to Boca Chica. And maybe, depending on how it times out, I might also be able to shoot the Soviet rocket engine video. So we will see. We will see. So stick around. There's always plenty going on. So let's see. This is Corpse Hatch Vos Innocence Tube. Name is pointy end up, flamey end down. Name it the pointy end up, flamey end down. That would be that would probably be what I would name my orbital class rocket. Yeah. Or the flamey pointy end up, flamey end down, and the yeet machine or something, you know, like Flamey McFlanderson and the who knows. They have moved T0 to 45 minutes. We're gonna be hanging out, my friends. Just me and you for 47 more minutes. Our T0 time moved. Hope you like space. I guess we can pull up some Kerbal while we wait or something, but I'll keep answering you guys' questions and try to actually get caught up on questions. Let me at least get Kerbal pulled up, though, in case we're really bored, at some point, since we don't get to often play it that much. Where is it? Why is it, like, hiding? Don't hide from me. Okay, yeah, cool. Way to hide and then unhide Steam. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. So this is from Ryan Collier. Is there a theoretical engine cycle beyond full flow stage combustion cycle that could be more efficient, have higher thrust? Not that I'm aware of. As far as efficiency, believe it or not, I think something like the dual expander cycle actually has potential to be more efficient. As far as thermal total efficiency of the engine, it has the efficiency. As far as the definition of chemical it can be more efficient. It has scaling size limits. I don't know if there is a cycle type, a chemical propulsion cycle type that is more efficient. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Oh, that's a good idea. Hey Andrew, yeah, let's see if Rachel and Gene are out there at the pad doing nose cone stacking, because we might as well pull it up while we're waiting for this thing. Now that it got pushed back to T-minus, now we're 45 minutes away. Oz wants to know if I can live stream the Tesla earnings call. That's too far out of my channel. That's what we do on Our Ludicrous Future, which I feel like I can't believe how many you guys. Definitely right now there are 9,000 of you. Get over there onto the internet. I don't know if you've heard of it. Get on YouTube, look up Our Ludicrous Future, subscribe to the podcast that I do every single week. I tend to always be talking about space, but we talk about EVs, renewable energy, futurism. If that's your type of thing, definitely watch or listen. It's a good 2-hour-long podcast every week. So if you're one of those people that drives, to and from work or used to, or just looks for those like kinds of distractions, we've got you covered. So if you want more from me, if you're always wanting like more on news, or my reaction to certain news topics and stuff, that's where I do it. A lot of people always ask me, like, I don't really do those just like daily news types of things or those weekly. There's a lot of awesome creators out there doing really, really good job of covering all the spaceflight news. I've never really done that. So I don't know why people expect me like, hey, why didn't you do a video about the something? It's like, my videos are like months in like I'm working on videos for months before I release one. Sometimes I'll sneak one out really quick if it's something just like that I have to react to. But for the most part, those reactions and things like that do go on Our Ludicrous Future. So if you do want more of that type of stuff, definitely listen to Our Ludicrous Future. Yeah. All right. So let's see. This is from Mark Harper. Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate that. You're awesome. Greg Perilli says, thanks as always for the stream. I scheduled my work day to do all my computer work now so I can watch while I spend my boss's money. That's the way to, that's awesome. Thank you for coming and joining us. That's great. Thank you. This is from Heathen New Zealand again, floating a very title of your, oh yeah, that's, I don't quite know how that works. I'm just confused, but thank you very much again, Heathen. Tim Serial number 8's nose cone is on the move to be mounted at Boca. Yes, it is. We are working on maybe bringing you guys feed of it because we don't really have anything else to do while we wait for 43 minutes besides try to answer some questions for you guys. So Christian D. Hager says, are those ship models 3D printed and hand painted? Depends. Some of these are all from different people. The ones in the case, those are Ollie Braun. Those are Buzz Space models. Those are very highly detailed 3D printed, stupidly high detail. And they are hand painted. This is a Lego Saturn V here. This is a New Glenn from an artist that makes the stuff for, and same with New Shepard. Does those specifically by hand for Blue Origin. They're not 3D printed, I don't think. I almost think they're like wooden models or something. They're pretty amazing. These are more traditional, like plastic from ULA's store. The Rocket Lab one, I don't know how they make it. It's very nice though. Yeah, they're all over the place. They are not to scale with each other, despite how badly I want them to be in scale with each other. But they are not. So, yeah. All right. Why did that not go up there? Sorry if I missed that, Christian. I apologize. This is from Marat Atiev says, great content. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Nolan Barnett says, hey, do we have a date yet for Crew 1 launch? I believe Crew 1 has been moved to net November 15th, last I heard. I know that Kathy Luters had a update today talking about they replaced an engine on 2 different NASA missions for Falcon 9. Apparently they out of nowhere have experienced a very small anomaly, something that was out of family. It might have been in a production run or something of Merlin engines. But it is something that they saw for the first, think about how many thousands of times the Merlin engine has fired it's over 10,000. They tweeted it was 10,000 like last year, that they've lit a Merlin engine and they're just now finding a new flaw but this is the type of stuff that helps make it, more and more reliable. And apparently they're looking back and checking out every single engine. That's some of the delay we had recently with a bunch of launches was they were checking all of the engines in their fleet basically to see which ones had this whatever small like microscopic flaw there could have been that in space flight when you're dealing on things on the very border of what's physically possible, a tiny thing can be inconsequential 99% of the time, but that 1 out of 100 could be something that could lead to the shutdown of an engine or something. So Yeah, I'm glad they're looking into that. That's what we want to see. Let's see here. All right, this is from Gary saying hi again from New Zealand. Really appreciate New Zealand. Jealous that I'm not there right now when your country's just back to hanging out and open. Oh, that'd be nice. Just imagine just being able to be in a big group of people and hug and be around family all the time and stuff. Paul from Norway goes, dude equals have fun, man. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you. Max says, watching with my daughters 9 and 5, and they say hi. Well, hello, Max, and your daughters. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love that there's that families are watching. This is what families are doing now for fun, is watching rockets and watching spaceflight. Like, that is something to be excited about. So thank you, Max, for exposing your family to the awesomeness that is aerospace and something to look forward to and dream about in the future. And thanks to your daughters. Hi, guys. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate that. All right. This is from how's it going? There we go. From Own High, orbital booster name suggestion. Honestly, not a phallus. I know. I think that's probably what the New Shepard needs to be doing. Honestly, Quentin says, "How's it going from Johannesburg, South Africa? Keep it up." Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Dina says, "Thanks for all your work, not hard work, just work." You're welcome, Dina. I like how I just injected my own adjective in there. Yeah, I don't know. John Willard says, the launch vehicle I name would pick the vehicle name I would pick would be the Aragorn or maybe Skywalker rocket. That'd be pretty cool. I'm into that. I love your content. KSP is good. I would name the ship after you. Well, thank you very much, John. So speaking of KSP, why don't we just build ourselves a really quick, tiny little Electron rocket while we're waiting, because we do have 39 minutes left since they have pushed the launch a little bit. I'm going to pull this up here real quick just so we have something to do. I'll show you guys how to build an Electron rocket. Of course, it is tiny. The Electron rocket is only 1.3 meters wide and something like, remind me again, I think it's 17 meters tall. It's not very big. So that's 1.3 meters wide is what, 4 feet wide, 17, so 55 feet tall or whatever, somewhere around there. Don't quote me exactly. But it is tiny. It's just this little bitty guy. So even if we use the smallest parts in Kerbal Space Program, or at least the smallest fairing Kerbal Space Program, it might almost be too much even. And of course, we can't really do black. Come on, Kerbal. Let me paint this baby black. I see a red car and I want to paint it black. Come on. Yeah, there we go. The dark enough. Good enough. And actually, there is even a tiny little kick stage that we should probably include on Rocket Lab, because that's actually a very important thing that they do that really not very many people do, and it's actually going to be the avionics package is built into that. So let's make sure that let's do it right. Let's do a proper Electron. They have the Photon, and the Photon's the new one, but the Curie is the engine. What is their kick stage called? I'm blanking right now. Somebody help. I need an adult. So let's just stick the smallest little engine up here. This is going to be our, no, Photon's the new one. Photon's the new one. That's the full-blown satellite bus. No, guys, Photon's the new one. What's the old one? No, not Photon. The regular kick stage. Does it not have it? Is it just named kick stage? The Curie's the engine. Yeah, I'm the old one. You're the old one, Tim. Okay, I think you're right. I don't think the old kick stage had a name. I think the old kick stage is just kick stage. Yeah, just kick stage, and the engine's Curie. That's why I couldn't think of it, because it doesn't exist. No wonder. I got foiled by my own concepts. But basically, it's just this little bitty guy. And it runs on monoprop, so maybe I should just do a monopropellant tank. Something like this, and try to actually center it. Might be difficult. Just a nice little itty bitty guy. He's just a little guy. Beep de boop. And then maybe I should do, this is like the right size of the engine, because there's not really a good monoprop engine in Kerbal Space Program, honestly. That one is too perfect. So I am going to switch it back to liquid. So I know, we'll make this a Photon kick stage. This will be a Photon which is their newer kick stage. They actually have it's a full-blown satellite bus, so it has its own like avionics. It has just a lot of cool things that make it substantially more capable as an upper stage. So it's liquid. It's bipropellant now instead of monopropellant. So that means there is, in this case, they're using some kind of hydrazine. It's a green hydrazine and green fuel that's less toxic. Green in this case means less toxic, as in it won't absolutely murder you if you touch it or breathe it. But it still. Oh, this is gonna be hard. What am I thinking? What am I thinking here? You know what? I'm gonna go back with the donut. But the donut was too big and it was gonna stick out the. These are the things that keep me up at night, because this is going to stick out the fairing. That's going to look stupid, and I don't want it to look stupid. Watch, because now if we build the fairing's going to like run into the donut, and I don't want the fairing to hit the donut. And their fairing goes straight up, which I think is a cool design feature. But maybe we'll just go like this. Whatever. Okay, it's going to have a small taper. I'm mortified by this, but some days you just gotta live with what you got. Is that this? This is the smaller one. Okay, it's got its own. One of these guys, and they put it on the bottom. They put the solar panels on the bottom of the photon, which is kind of cool. Like this, ish. Oopsies, wrong thing. Something about like meow. There we go. There's the solar panels. We got that. It also does have monoprop still, so it does have its own monopropellant, which is cold gas, so that it has its own tiny. They are the tiniest cold gas thrusters. You can't even stick your pinky in them. I've tried. They're absolutely the ittiest bittiest little things ever, and they're adorable. And these are way too big, but that's about all Kerbal gives us. So I'm gonna just do this. Pew, no, pew, yeah. And I thought you could like change that into a different thing. Something like this. Then I'm gonna scoot this over and rotate this one so that we have a nice bit of symmetry. This will be able to, give us very accurate. I'm gonna lower their thrust amounts though, because they're gonna be way too powerful for this little teeny little thing. This would be what enables us to spin. And what did I set those other ones to? 10? Okay. And let's put one on the top, just so we have all of the control axes pretty much nailed down. Something like this. And 10. Okay. There is our photon upper stage. But of course, because it is its own standalone upper stage, it also has its own communication satellite bus, like a high bandwidth communication system. Which for us, we're just going to stick, I don't know, a pair of these antennas on there because whatever. Yeah. Let's see here. We might actually be able to pull up a little bit of the stacking, the nose cone stacking. Let me real quick answer a few more questions here since we're just kind of dinking around. This is from Ben asking, if you had to choose to work in the launch team of Blue Origin or SpaceX, which company would you work for? I think it depends on what my job would be. I mean, it's equally appealing and terrifying to consider working for a company like SpaceX, who is working nonstop. Like the employees, at SpaceX, especially on the on Starship, are like, they're just working. They're working nonstop, and that'd be fun. Like I think that'd be one of those things that you just feel like your work is life and your life is work, and that could be a really good thing. It could be really fun, but you could also be very exhausted. Like I don't know how long I or a lot of people could do that. In that case, because of that, I think it would be. I'm not going to say it would be easier to work at Blue Origin. But I think they just have a different company culture and a different pace, as a lot of us are aware. And I think it'd be more sustainable to work at something like Blue Origin for myself. But I also think if you're working on something as ambitious as Starship, you would feed a lot of that energy would feed back because you're working on something that's so cutting edge and so next level that I think that is a feedback loop and could kind of power you through to the, these long hours and this dedication that's required to work on something like that. It'd be a pretty high turnover if you're not invested in it, if you're not excited about what you're working on. So I don't know. I think I could do Starship for a little while and just and work down on something like that, or just in SpaceX in general, because everything, of course, working at Hawthorne would still be super cool. But I don't want to, the thing is, I don't want to work for anyone. I don't want to work for those companies. I really enjoy what I do. What I would like to do maybe someday, I would love to be, sign NDAs through the roof and be a consultant that goes through my new dream job in the future. Once I'm to the point where I've made every rocket video there is to make, my new dream job would actually be to go to an aerospace company, walk around and just ask people what they're doing. What are you working on? What's your biggest challenges? And start connecting dots and being like, hey, you need to talk to this. You're dealing with that problem. Well, that's funny because they said over there, Janet's been working on a system that is similar to this. Have you guys ever talked? No. Let's connect those dots. Let's see if we can come up with a solution because, these basically go around a network, and solve problems. I don't know if that's a job position. I don't know if there's a position like that at rocket companies, but I would love to do something like that where I could help kind of connect dots for people and connect systems that may not have a natural connection. I don't know, because I like to ask questions. I like to learn just by being a nerd, and that'd be a fun job for me. So if there's a rocket company out there that needs something like that, let me know. I would love. I can be your guinea pig. You can be my guinea pig. We can be each other's guinea pigs, and we'll create a new position for me. For fun. Yeah, I don't know. Both would be awesome. Rocket Lab, I'd love to work for Rocket Lab. I don't know. I mean, I would love to work for everybody. I would love to be able to even if I could get paid to come into a company and just get their workforce excited about what they're working on, I would do that. That sounds great to me. Oh, this is cool. Not great. Just Nate in our Discord says there is a position like that. If you want to talk to someone who does that, one of your friends does that. That's crazy. I did not really know that was actually a position. That sounds like a dream job to me. Okay, let's instead of me continually blabbing. One of the cool things though about if it's a Photon rocket launch is you can send your payloads just directly on the satellite. You don't have to detach it. That's kind of the beauty is you're basically attaching science instruments. And when you just have to attach a science instrument, that's a little too big. Then you don't have to worry about, the Photon itself becomes the satellite bus. It becomes the communication relay, the guidance and navigation, because it's all there. Why would you have its own guidance and navigation and then let go of something that has guidance and navigation and communication? That's kind of one of those things that it makes so much sense now, but that's one of those things that Rocket Lab kind of came up with, or maybe didn't come up with, but was popularizing, is the idea that how about you as a satellite, manufacturer or science, if you're a college or something, you're putting together a science experiment, why don't you just come attach your science experiment directly to our vehicle and don't worry about comms, don't worry about, anything else. We'll take care of it. You just stick it on our satellite bus and we'll take care of it. So we're just going to throw a bunch of small little science experiments on top of this. And this is going to be what we're flying on the Electron. Now we're going to build a quick little tiny, as small of a fairing as we can, because it's going to run into that stupid thing, like I said. But it's going to be kind of that simple shape. Like I said, it's not going to be quite right, but this will do. There's only two sides of this. It is clamshell deploying. So, it just splits in half. David Meese says, have you heard of an engineer designing small sats to capture space junk? Made renders for Mars Starship. He is big in the NASA spaceflight Reddit. His channel is Mike LePage. I don't know if I've seen that one in particular, but I've seen a few space junk capture devices that are really smart. Literally just drag sails and stuff that you can attach to pieces of debris, or things that are wide and would just come in contact and slow down pieces of debris. There's a lot of cool, a lot of cool concepts like that. Chazzy Mack in our Discord says, your main question would be, what would you say you do here? I'd be the guy from Office Space. I'd just be, so what? Or I don't remember if that's Office Space. What would you say you actually do here? That would be fun. Okay, so I'm going to work on getting this baby. So this is going to be our upper stage Rutherford engine. And we need to stage this thing properly because right now it's a nightmare. Check your staging. Okay, yep, that's right, that's right. This is only 226. Oh, yeah, because we're not in a vacuum. We have to check out our vacuum. Now, all of a sudden, this stage has 918 meters per second, which is probably plenty for this small of a satellite. And for Kerbin, because Kerbin's like smaller than Earth. One of the things we have to do, though, is we're going to make it so we can recover this baby. We're going to try and do... Oh, is this small? Okay, wait. Yay. This is going to be the rest of our inner stage. Maybe I should... I have an idea. No. Auto written... Meh? No. Shroud. Disable. Okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to stick this... We're going to cheat this up into here. Beep, beep, beep. And extend it. Oh, whoa, that is a big old extension. I don't know how I feel about this. But whatever. Now we have a full actual interstage that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep... Sorry, I'm just talking to myself here. Building rockets, not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Made a sloppy mud pie. Something like that. And then... something like that. And then what I'm going to do, the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to stick some cold little tiny baby monoprop cylinders inside of here too for the cold gas thrusters that they now are including in their upper stage and the inner stage here of this rocket. They do actually have cold gas thrusters. I'm going to do these. I'm just going to copy these out. That'll be way easier instead of doing this all over again. Meh. For those of you wondering, I think there's some people asking, this is Kerbal Space Program. It is a game / simulator / I call it explosion factory. It's careful. It also, if you have a life, you might not want to begin playing this because it will take it away from you, basically. Yeah. All right. So let's just keep adding stuff here. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, that's almost all black. We might just have to do this small tank and just repeat it so it is. And it's not even black, I know, even though I'm like have the worst ability to decipher colors, which is ironic as a former photographer. 1, 2, 3. This is how I'm going to do this, and I don't care if it's right or wrong. Wait, is this actually going to work if we decouple from there? That might not work. I might be wrong. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if we get the ability to pull up our feed from Rachel and Jean, but I don't think it's going to happen today, so no big deal. All right, this is from Tommaso Bastianeo. Hi, Tim. Are you going to be covering the SN8 15-kilometer flight test? Great content. Keep it up. Of course I will. I'm actually going to be going down there because how could I miss something like that? Yeah, I will be down there. It's going to be fantastic, and I hope you guys watch. I know you will. I know you'll watch that because that's going to be the craziest thing to ever see. So I'm kind of keeping my eyes on when to go and all of that stuff. It's a nightmare to try to figure out when's a good time to leave. So wish me luck. Yeah, wish me luck. Okay, you know what this is not gonna work if I do it like this. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna. But what about this? Now we're talking. Yeah, that should work. That should work. I don't know. Maybe it won't. Maybe it's gonna blow up. But you know, that's fun. Kind of sneaking away. Man, I can't wait. That nose cone is rolling out. That is pretty cool. And we are still 20 minutes. Hopefully the live stream is gonna start up here pretty soon. Landon says, got the full flow shirt from me last month. Easily my favorite shirt. Get lots of questions. Thanks as always. That's awesome, Landon. Thank you for Yeah, thanks for supporting what I do and getting a full flow shirt. It is also one of my favorite shirts, and literally, according to Elon, it's one of his too. I'm glad you're wearing that. Thank you. Alex says $5 for your irons ticket to Mars. For my irons ticket to... I see. That did not make any sense in my head. I will buy an iron and send it to Mars as soon as it's feasible to do so. Now that I might consider doing. Now that I might do. Thank you, Alec. Chase says, your rocket would have to be called the Pointy End Up. I absolutely agree. Miles B asking again on Discord, of course I will stream SN8. I will be there for the flight test. I will get my butt down to Boca Chica, and I will of course be streaming that thing. How could I miss that? You know, it's going to be one of the craziest things. Don't forget, guys, it was pretty much just me and Jack Beyer, and eventually Trevor Mallman ended up coming down, but we're the only ones covering Starhopper stuff. And so I have a strong love and weird, like, yeah, I you can't keep me away from Boca Chica when there's something crazy like that happening. Yeah, so I spent like almost 2 months there last year just trying to get Starhopper stuff, just trying to shoot the Starhopper prototypes that flew, the two times that flew, the 20 and the 150 meter hop. So yeah, I'm sad that I haven't been down there this year because of, the pandemic and stuff. And just, yeah, it hasn't really been the right time. So I'm really, 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 really excited to get back out there. Absolutely. So I will be covering it, and we have full blown, literally we have this awesome flight case now full of streaming gear. So it's like a portable studio and a flight case. Andrew, the producer that's helping me with everything in life now, has put together this awesome streaming pack, and we're going to have the best coverage that I've ever had for anything, let alone for a live stream of an event like this. So it'll be awesome. I promise you we'll have you covered. Don't you worry. Look at this. This is going to be our 9 Rutherford engines. Let's see. The only problem is, do we have enough thrust to weight ratio to get this thing off the ground with these? 1.5, not bad. This is our little, oh, it's so cute. This is our Electron rocket. Yeah. So yeah, and we're noticing in Discord that they have not gone live yet for Rocket Lab. So they normally go about live T-minus 20 minutes. So they might be pushing back a little bit more. We'll see. Sometimes there's weather constraints. We don't know what the reason they're pushing back is, but we are waiting. And while we're waiting, we're building a Electron rocket because why not? Let's just do 2 little tiny hold down clamps like this. These will come on after the rocket. Okay, let's check our staging. Those main engines, that, then this. How much delta V do we actually have? 2,000. Okay, that should be plenty. Then this engine, then that, then this, then that. Okay, we're ready to go. Oh, it's scrubbed. Crap. Let me see this. Let me see here. We're standing down from today's launch attempt. Okay, let me pull this up here. Okay. This is Rocket Lab. We're standing down from today's launch attempt. Some sensors are returning data that we want to look into further. We have backup opportunities until November 3rd, so stay tuned for updates on new launch date. So that's good. You don't want to mess it up when you have a rocket like this. So crap. All right, well, stay in here if you guys want. I'll show you guys how this launch will go. It is officially scrubbed. I'll get to the rest of your guys' questions. Why don't we just launch this thing just for fun right away? I think we're good to go. This is Rocket Lab. Electron. Yay. The yay rocket. Yeah, I mean, we already built this thing. Okay, Luke, can you talk about why no one is building a skyhook? So, Luke, in order to build a skyhook, it's a huge infrastructure, and there are limitations to stuff like that. We did a Why Don't They Just on that podcast that I talk about. We have that podcast called Our Ludicrous Future. I talked about it on there of why it's really not feasible to scale. I mean, it is someday. Look, for someday we could have something like that. But for now, that's just kind of like, that's almost the same as saying, why don't we just make a warp drive? Like, Yeah, someday we might figure that type of stuff out, but for now, it's pretty big limitations for space flight capabilities, material sciences, stuff like that. So this is from I am Mr. Mech. Also, don't forget that the small red button puts you live on the stream. The small red button puts me live on the stream. I'm sorry, I don't quite know what you're talking about. But thank you. I am Mr. Mech. I appreciate that. This is from David. Greetings from Switzerland. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Aaron Brand. Pointy end up, flaming end down. Well, since we don't have a rocket lab launch, we can at least check pointy end up, flaming end down on this rocket. So here we go. This is my confirmation that the pointy end is up, and let's test out that flaming end in 3, 2, 1. Flaming end is down. 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Oh yeah. So of course, because our thrust to weight ratio is well above 1, you'll see this thing leaping off the pad. That's what having a high thrust to weight ratio does. And of course, as the fuel is drained out of these tanks, it'll continue to actually increase that thrust to weight ratio. The thrust is staying the same. We're going to start pitching downrange because that's what rockets do. If we just went straight up, the rocket would basically come straight back down unless you got high enough. You can actually escape Earth's gravity just going straight up, but it's extremely inefficient. So we will begin what's known kind of as a gravity turn, which is where we begin to turn out and kind of leave and inject some horizontal velocity and not just go straight up. So by the time we are at about 10,000 in Kerbal Space Program, we want to be pitched over about 45 degrees. So we're just kind of pitching this baby over. Now you can notice our thrust to weight ratio is getting really high. I forgot to put parachutes in this. I wanted to try to recover this first stage. Okay, I guess we're not doing it on this launch. I was going to try and splash it down. We better. Should we do that? Should we do that? We're going to do it. I mean, come on. How else are we going to show off how they're going to do it if we don't show off how they're going to do it? This is from Spooks. Thank you so much. I really appreciate $20. That's awesome. Thank you very, very much. Tommaso Bastiano also says, also literally have the same Olympus Mons poster on the wall in my living room. I love these vintage posters. Vintage style posters. They're not actually vintage. They are beautiful, in my opinion. In my semi-professional opinion, they are gorgeous. Let's see, what would be the best way to add? We got to have a probe core on this, otherwise we will not go to space today. Actually, we're just going to do one of the bigger ones, just because why not? And let's stick some parachutes in there. We're going to need 2. We're going to need they actually use an inflatable balloon. We do not have that in Kerbal Space Program, so we are just going to have to do a traditional drogue chute. We'll flip this inside out, and then we'll do radial mount parachutes. And again, unfortunately, we don't have that option in Kerbal Space Program to do the parafoil, steerable parafoil. If we put a Kerbal in there, we could kind of cheat that way in there, but we're not going to do that. One of the things we have to do if we actually do want to try to, do anything like this, we have to get this way above the Kármán line. So I might add one more tank to it. Come on. Okay, I'm struggling to only connect to those. Why does Kerbal do this sometimes? Come on. Yeah, get in there. 1, 2. I hope we don't have something fighting with us when we get to stage separation. I hope that engine doesn't just eat through those parachutes. It might. And then we will have learned something. How else are you going to learn, Oh, come on. Why? Come on. No, come here. Huh? Yes. Get in there. No, you get in there. There. Jeez. Now we got to make sure those are on the right stage. That's going to be after that. We need the drogues, which are the little guys, followed by the main chutes, which is these bigger guys. Okay, and we have the RCS thresholds. We have everything we need to make this happen, except for, like I said, I'm going to add maybe 2 more tanks to this just to make it a little bit more power. Make sure that first stage gets into orbit. That seems to be more proportional to. Let's actually see how big this is. This is 1.5 meters wide and 13 meters tall. We should go taller. I was going to say that's close, but that's not tall enough. Now I don't know if our thrust to weight ratio might be too low to get off the pad now. Let's find out. Oh, 1.15. That's not bad. I think we should do that. Chazzy Max says, if you go straight up, will it come back down? It will come back down, but not at the same point on Earth due to the rotation of the Earth. At a certain point, yes. Because, yes, the Earth will inject a little bit of velocity with it. And if you go high enough, eventually the Earth does begin to kind of rotate underneath. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Yes, we want to overwrite this. Yeah, and eventually you can go high enough to stay in space. But yeah, not very. I mean, you basically have to get out of Earth's sphere of influence into something else's sphere of influence. Marshall Riddles, love to learn, and I love so much, and he learns so much from your videos, from my videos. Thank you very much, Marshall. I can't read today. I've had one of those off days. I've been writing all day, and my brain's just fried. I've been writing for like 10 days straight now, I feel like. It's a little bit ridiculous. This is from EverQuester. I want to drive down for the first orbital launch. How would I go about getting a seat in the viewing area? Will I be there? The first orbital launch of Starship? We don't even know necessarily exactly where that's going to be. So I can't give you any details. I can't tell you when it is, but I can pretty much guarantee I will be there. That's the only thing I kind of know. So, yeah. We have a new member from S. Thank you very much. Manuel says, hi, Tim. Where do you get your rocket models from? Greetings from Germany. Love your streams. I kind of talked about them earlier. The ULA rockets are from ULA. The Blue Origin ones are from Blue Origin. The Rocket Lab one is from Rocket Lab. These SpaceX ones are from Buzz Space Models, Ollie Braun, buzzspacemodels.com. The Saturn V is a Lego Saturn V. The Electron, like the Rocket Lab and the Blue Origin one, I don't think you can buy. They were given to me by those companies. So I don't think there's things you can just purchase, unfortunately. Okay. All right. You guys ready for this? So let's get this thing going again. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, hip, hip. And 3, 2, 1, hip, hip again. A lot slower off the pad because notice we did give it more fuel, which weighed it down more, which lowered its thrust to weight ratio. But just like last time now, we are noticing, of course, we're burning off fuel. You can just see it draining there. But we're not burning fuel in the upper stage. That's the important part about staging. That's why staging is so important in an orbital class rocket, is because when you let go of the first stage, you will still have, you will basically still have a fully fueled mini rocket, a smaller version of the rocket, the second stage of the rocket, fully fueled, and it can go from there. So the first stage does a lot of the work to get it up and out of the atmosphere, but the second stage is really the thing that helps give it that horizontal velocity that's necessary to put something into orbit. Not just into space, into orbit. Because the first stage can get it into space, and it will. But again, we have to kind of start pitching this over because that horizontal velocity, you can notice our ballistic trajectory right now is, like if we're throwing this thing right now, if we shut off the engines and follow this course, and it'd land right there. But we're continuing to accelerate. We're continuing to go up and pitch over. And so we're getting higher and we're getting further and further downrange. And if we keep doing this, of course, this arc will end up encompassing and basically going all the way around the Earth because it's just, that's what orbit is. Okay, so we're going to hold 45 degrees here until we get up to our apogee. I'm going to get our apoapsis. That's our apogee. That's our highest point of the orbit. We're going to get that way outside of the atmosphere, hopefully. I do hope. And it's climbing. This is from Alexander. A question regarding Starship. How hard will it be for them to keep the fuels cooled, or won't this even be a problem? Actually, it's funny because since I'm working on that script about Starship and everything, that is something that I literally just heard Elon talk about again, is how do you prevent boil off on two liquid propellants? So you have liquid methane and liquid oxygen. Liquid oxygen, in this case, they have it below 200 degrees Celsius. Liquid methane is probably around 180 degrees Celsius because they will be super chilling it at some point. I don't think we're going to get out of the atmosphere with this. No! Okay, well, crap. Well, let's do the second stage. See if we can get the second stage out of here. Oh, no. Oh, no, this is what I said might happen. I had to wiggle it out of there. Okay, let's see if the second stage can do the rest of the work. We might not have a powerful enough rocket, my friends. We might have to redesign this thing. crisis averted, but we are not recovering that first stage on this attempt at all. All right, well, let's get this baby into orbit if we can. Let's ditch that upper stage. Oh, come on, or the fairing, come on. We are stuck in a little bit of a spin. I'm going to turn on the RCS on that photon upper stage, and that can help us prevent that spin. Oh, baby, we are almost out of fuel. But that's okay, actually. We do want the upper stage to run out of fuel and not make it into orbit. Because we do want to deorbit this. We do not want the upper stage contributing to space debris, which is exactly what Rocket Lab does. So now we have this little photon here. And it has its own propulsion system. And it's going to finish up this orbit. So notice our periapsis is still negative, which means if we stop burning right now, we're going to fall right back into space. But we're going to let the kick stage do its kick all the way up at apoapsis, its highest point. Look at this. This is actually kind of a cute little satellite. Hi. It's got its own little thrusters. Yeah. Yay. I made a photon. I should have covered it with something. Okay, so we're going to coast up to our apoapsis. Our thrust to weight ratio is not very high, though, so we might need to burn this engine for quite a while to actually kick itself into orbit. So again, if we were to not do this burn right now, this will fall right back down to Earth and it will burn up. So this is kind of part of the trick of getting into orbit and part of what the kick stage has always done. Oh no, don't tell me I don't have enough batteries. Where's the sun? Where is the sun? Do. I should have put an extra battery pack on there. This was a failed mission, my friends. Now what we can do this. We can turn this thing to point up and get some electrical charge. Turn off the thing. Oh man, this is embarrassing. Okay, we got our electric charge. But it required cheating to do that. We needed a bigger battery. The thrust to weight of this kick stage in KSB is 0.24. So pretty low thrust to weight ratio, which is probably, that might even be more powerful than what the actual kick stage is. So let's fast forward this little thing here until we do get to that apoapsis of 147. We'll start burning a little bit early. 145, good enough. Let's point prograde, point straight forward, and we're going to speed up now. And by speeding up, we are going to circularize our orbit. See how the periapsis, the lowest point, is increasing. So that means we are going to be having this circle. Our orbit will end up not imagine this, not intersecting with Kerbin or with Earth, with our planet. And instead, we are speeding up, which will circularize our orbit and make it so we never come back down, basically. Of course, in real life, there's still trace, the atmosphere doesn't just stop magically at 100 kilometers. It just gets thinner and thinner and thinner. There are some very trace amounts of atmosphere, even really high up, even 1,000 kilometers. There's still trace amounts of our Earth's atmosphere. But in this game, it is a hard limit. Once you're above 70,000 meters, it cuts, or 60,000, whatever it is in Kerbal. Yeah, so now we're just kind of speeding ourselves up here. Still negative, still minus 70,000 meters. But you will notice as this gets closer to zero that the orbit's going to basically be popping off the back end of the planet here. But you can tell, now don't forget, again, if we just turned off the engine right now, we would re-enter. We would end up hitting the planet and re-entering. Even once this gets above zero, you would still re-enter because you're going to only be 0 meters or 1 or 100 meters above the surface of the planet. So here we go. If we stopped right now, we'd of course burn up on reentry. That's just how this works. We would burn up on reentry because the atmosphere goes, on this planet until 60,000 meters. So yeah, or 70,000 meters. Thank you. 70 kilometers. So until we get this above 70 kilometers, we are destined to come back down and end up deorbiting. And this is not our mission today. Our mission is we're going to put ourselves near a 150 by 150 orbit. Good enough, at least. Close to it. So now we can see our lowest point is still in the atmosphere. So we would end up still deorbiting eventually. And now we're officially in space. Like we're officially in orbit. But we're still going to raise it up here. Get it closer to that 150-ish by 150. And you can see it going like this. You can also see it down here in the bottom left. We have the same numbers. Look at that. Wow. I mean, this is not Rocket Lab precision by any means, since I was aiming for 150 by 150 and I ended up at 166 by 138. So our highest point is 166,000 meters or 166 kilometers. And our lowest point, our periapsis, is 138 kilometers. I'm no Rocket Lab. I messed up a lot of things. Whoops. No, I'm not going to remove the launch clock because I do want people, if they're popping in here expecting something, I better edit the title even. The title should now say scrubbed. If people come in here, I don't want them expecting a rocket launch. Scrubbed. Don't watch. Save. So yeah, I can move it though. If you guys want me to move that, I can move it so you can see more of the stuff. But I do want people to be able to, you know, get in here and know that, yeah. Yep. Okay, so there we go. That is our photon in space. And now for smart, which I have not been prior, we do want to make sure that those solar panels are facing the sun so that it will get recharged often. Yeah. There you go. That is a photon. That is a Rocket Lab Electron-ish. Done very poorly by yours truly. You're welcome. Let's see here. We have a lot more questions to answer. Yeah. Let's see. This is from, don't forget guys, tomorrow I will be streaming SpaceX's Falcon 9 in the morning. It's like, I don't know, 18 hours from now or something. Well, here, let's go back to pre-launch previews and we can see how long before. 18 hours and 11 minutes away. Oh, I had this closed. 18 hours and 11 minutes. You guys can join me for Falcon 9 Starlink, the 14th launch of the Starlink missions. That'll be in 18 hours already. So if you missed, we all missed the launch today because there was no launch today. So if you want that, be sure and join me tomorrow morning. My time, don't know when it is for you. But yeah, I'll keep answering you guys' questions though, because we did have a good amount of good questions from everybody. Joseph Dale says, I've now watched the Apollo versus Artemis video 3 times. I truly cannot wait to see the first rocket go up. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Joseph. Thank you for rewatching. That's the whole, I know I do things differently. And I know that it might be frustrating that I don't even know when exactly my next video is going to be out because I just work on them until they're done. It's different, I know, but what matters to me most is like I want these to be resources to be able to rewatch. You know, and I've heard a lot of people saying that they've rewatched the Raptor video multiple times because they want to remember how something works better. Or, you know, I've heard people watching the Aerospike video over and over. And I want same with this. You know, the Starship versus SLS and Artemis versus Apollo. Like I want these to be long-term resources, not just a view it once and maybe pick up some stuff, like have it be something out there that's evergreen that you can look back on, especially as these programs get further in development, further online. So you can remember, you know, how these orbits work or how this hardware works and stuff like that. That's just my niche. People can do whatever they want, of course, online, but I just am passionate about that because that's the way I learn. I like to learn really deep on a subject, I want it to be just always be growing. And I think my audience does too. So thank you for rewatching. That is awesome. S says, enjoying watching you sitting in a stop traffic jam, enjoying watching you sitting in a stop traffic jam in Detroit. Hope the rocket launches soon. I'm sorry from the past. I'm now in the future. I'm sorry. Vinco, yes, this is absolutely in the works. It's been, mastered. I have some stuff that I have to redo a little bit, in the tracks, but 2 of the tracks have been mastered by the same person that does Test Shot Starfish's stuff. I'm in the works of getting, it's finally kind of the 27 Merlins out. It'll be named something different, I think, this time. Those 3 songs will be coming out, hopefully by the end of the year. David, can you tell us something about today's OSIRIS-REx success? I didn't have a chance to see what actually happened. There is apparently more stuff came out about OSIRIS-REx as I've been streaming, so I have not been able to do that, unfortunately. But basically, for those of you that don't know, OSIRIS-REx was a little probe that was launched in 2016 on an Atlas 5. That was it was a 411, I think. So a single solid rocket booster off to the side, which is really fun. SNA, everyone wants me to watch SNATE, as I call it. I'm not going to pull up someone else's stream though, guys. I think that's a no-go. If we can get the video feed from Rachel and Gene, I will just have it up in the background. Yeah. I would consider doing that, but I also don't really want that to be under just a Rocket Lab video title. There's plenty of other people streaming that stuff. It is, after all, literally just a nose cone driving down the road. I mean, it's exciting, trust me, but I mean, I know just watching me talk isn't the most exciting thing either, but I'm not going to be taking anyone else's video feed and rebroadcasting that. That's not cool. You guys are more than welcome to pull up another device, though, if you want to keep listening or whatever, or just watch that. FRBE0101, I calculate it would take 15 hours for a 20 kilometer an hour fast gondola ride up to the top of Olympus Mons. Am I up for that? Wow. A 15 hour. It would have to be faster. We're talking, come on, 20 kilometers an hour. This is Mars, babe. We don't have to worry about nearly as much atmosphere. As a matter of fact, you'd technically be in, I think the ambient air pressure on the top of Olympus Mons is technically in space. You can walk from sea level to space on a mountain. That's insane though. If you were to hike it, that'd be absolutely wild. Because 20 kilometers an hour is, that's like a fast, like, jog. So, wow. Wouldn't it be, wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be doing anything like that, but the gondola ride would be very fun, just like this. Boop. Only way faster, because it's the future. From Own Hi again. So I work at a software dev company, Stainless. Other than Kerbal, what would you want to see in a space game? Own Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you send me an email? Because I do have an idea for a space game. If you are a software dev company, a game software, please reach out to me. Say that you are Own Hi, and I will tell you my idea. It would be great. Yeah. Oh, I should also, speaking of that type of stuff, guys, I have a really good friend in the LA area. I don't know. I need to do this on a bigger stream because I don't think the odds of anyone of you out listening right now being this person, but we are. I've been tasked with trying to find someone. They need to like space. That is a mark in this. But they need to be able to run a kitchen or run a restaurant. In LA. I have a really good friend working on something awesome. So if you guys know, if you know of someone in the LA area that is a restaurateur or, has run a kitchen before, does good work and wants to be kind of, it's not really involved in spaceflight, but you'll see, I can't say anything else about it under like a friend DA, I guess we'll say, friend NDA. I can't really go into too much more detail, but there's a really, really good friend of mine. I think it's an awesome opportunity. I think it'd be really cool. So if you do happen to be a cook or a chef or have run a kitchen, let me see if I can find that email. Hold on. I think it's like, 1 second. I'll find it because it is important. And I know who knows, there might be someone out here right now that is listening to this. It's on the moon res@gmail.com. If you happen to be that person that is a cook or a chef or have run a kitchen and you're in the LA area or would move to LA, but you also like space, on the moon res@gmail. Hit them up. Trust me, it'll be awesome. Yeah, I promised them I'd push it because trust me. Trumpler 1945. Hey man, love your content. If you were an astronaut, what would your dream mission be? Honestly, oh man, if I were an astronaut, what would my dream mission be? Oh geez. It's ironic because I always say like I would never want to go to Mars. I never really want to go anywhere far where I'm stuck. But oh man, if I had the right equipment and all the stuff, Titan would be amazing. If Titan or some other, I would love to just be on any moon of Saturn too, where you're just looking up and seeing just Saturn like take up the entire sky and the rings. Yeah, can you imagine seeing that with your own eyeballs? I think it would just be the craziest thing in the entire world. Yeah, that would be absolutely insane. That'd be my dream mission, just being on a moon of Saturn, hanging out, just enjoying the view. But it'd have to be quick, which is weird. Money Mouth Face says V1 Kinji XD. Thank you very much. My new sample collection was successful. There's our update. That's awesome. That's great to know. It's a really, really cool mission first time the United States has captured a sample from an asteroid. Of course, Japan had Hayabusa 1, which is successful in bringing back an asteroid sample. Hayabusa 2 seems to be on its way for that too. So very exciting. Very, very exciting. Philip Moyer says, for the coffee fund, hashtag Team Space. Thank you so much, Philip Moyer. Speaking of Team Space, I cannot wait for you guys to see something that is in the works. You'll know more about it in a week or two, maybe 3 or 4. You'll know more about it when you know more about it. Science for Kids. The real question, how many times will NROL 44 be delayed? I have no idea, Science for Kids. I wish I knew. It makes me sad that it's been delayed so much. I'm sure that both ULA and the National Reconnaissance Office is not very pleased with how long it's been taking. That's kind of one of the reasons why they hire ULA, is to get stuff on time and on schedule. And this is very much not either of those things. So I don't know. This is from Smillman437. What a trooper. Nice reaction when you realize you're stuck with us for another 45 plus minutes. We appreciate you. Hey, you're welcome. I'm just glad you guys are here hanging out. Even though we know now nothing's going to happen. So I'm sorry if I'm not getting to all these. Spook the Gamer, will you fly on the Earth-to-Earth Starship when it comes online? Yeah, I think by the time point-to-point is ready, I think it'll be 15, 20 years personally before something like that is flown enough to get anywhere near that kind of confidence and anywhere near that kind of flight rate out of it. I would love to fly in that. I might be almost a 60-year-old man or something before it happens, but yes. KSP stream from Jared. Thank you guys. Thank you. Ryan Collier, yes, the Photon again. What is their new kick stage? But I was trying to remember if they had a name for their kick stage. Sorry if I didn't explain that very well. Nikki, greetings from Germany. Sadly, there are on launches from Europe. I want to fly to America to see Falcon/Starship fly when the human malware is over. Yes. So there are no launches from Europe. There we go. There are no, yes, I know. I hope that you can make it over here for an exciting launch, and I hope that soon travel restrictions are lifted and that we can all go back to our normal lives. I think every single human on Earth wants that, of course. Binary says, thanks so much for covering these launches and researching all of these rockets for us. P.S. The black color scheme is just to the left of the white. The black color scheme is just to the left of the right on Kerbal? Hold on. I don't know if there was an actual black color scheme, but maybe I missed it. I'm just going to kind of check it out for myself. I'm going to pull it up and check it out later. Quinn says, I'm wearing your Raptor engine sweatshirt right now. And when do you think the first Mars base with humans will go online? That's 15 years, in my opinion. Like, I don't think an actual proper Mars base. Well, I mean, technically the first time like Starship lands, they're going to have to deploy their own like ISRU, their own in situ resource utilization. They'll have to deploy some kind of more, little bit of habitat type of stuff probably. So that technically will be a Mars base, but I don't know, like define Mars bases. It's a permanently inhabited Mars presence. I think that might be, and in that case, I'd guess 10 at the absolute earliest, but probably more like 15. And by permanently inhabited, I don't mean people that will be there the whole time. I mean overlapping in habitation of humans. Who knows? 15 years, 20 years. I think further than most of us would think. Yeah. Jeffrey Frog says, thanks for the great information and constant entertainment. Pointy end up. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate that, Jeffrey. From Theater Maker IE, I opened this stream hours ago, forgot about it, went for a walk and came back to Tim talking. I had so many windows open, I couldn't find you. That's awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, Theater Maker. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad that hopefully I wasn't too scary when you came back for your walk. Ohane says, please give a shout out to the awesome feats of Osiris Rex. Yes, absolutely. We'll be talking about that on OLF. Speaking of that, Gabriel Taylor says, hope to see you cover Osiris Rex on OLF. Yes, I will pull up a decent rundown on Osiris Rex tomorrow for tomorrow's Our Ludicrous Future. So yes, if you guys, again, if you want to hear more of my actual prepared thoughts on Osiris Rex, I will give you guys a better rundown on it tomorrow. It'll come out for you guys on Friday. So yes, again, listen to Our Ludicrous Future. Yeah, and I will tell you all about it. Uga says, hi from UK, from me and my guinea pig Piper. Hey, Pipe and Ugg, thank you so much for tuning in from the UK. Really appreciate it. 100 Steve B says, Anyone know what NASA's new discovery is concerning the moon? They are apparently making a big announcement on Monday. I don't know. It might be something. I feel like it's always about ice or water. So maybe it'll be a really cool ice deposit that we're really excited to be able to use for fuel. Elias, watch Osiris NASA stream in the meantime and said, let me see if it's still up. I don't think it is, but it's just so weird to stream over someone else explaining something, because then I'm just like, yeah. Let me see if it is still live. Or wait, no, it's streamed. Okay. Oh, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday's thing. I don't see, they did actually kind of do a video about it. Well, okay. Like I said, I'll have to do something more on this on our Ludicrous Future. This is from Corpse again. Make sure to get staging right there so there's not a rapid unscheduled system. We still had some flaws. I still had some big flaws with that design. Thanks for hanging out, though, again, Corpse. Kenneth, how's it going? Have you been speaking with your officials up for election about the importance of space funding? I do a thing where the Planetary Society has a lot of good resources as far as getting involved politically in the importance of spaceflight and the aerospace industry. So I've been doing using some of their tools. Planetary.org. That's if you want to get involved and especially with kind of space lobbying and helping send out letters and requests to your local representatives and state and federal representatives, definitely check out the resources at planetary.org. It's important. It is that time of year. Get your voice heard. That's what democracy is all about, my friends. Gabriel Taylor, everyone in chat was requesting the Oscar B tank. Was that the small little baby one that I should have had? The Oscar B. Oscar B. Where's Oscar B? Oscar B, that's that little, I can't even find it now. Oh, they moved it. Oh yeah, just the normal silver one. That probably would have been a great idea. Lots of requests for that. So also thanks, K Workshop. I'm sorry, I'm way behind on this. Spook the Gamer says, the first upper stage was called the Maxwell. No, Maxwell is the CubeSat dispenser. The carbon fiber CubeSat dispenser is called Maxwell. I don't think the kick stage actually had a thing. Paul from Norway again. EVE Online is far worse than Kerbal Space Program. I've never played EVE Online. Big fan of Kerbal, though, obviously. This is from Super Sim. Why do I stream every launch? Because I like to. There's almost always something to learn. I watch them anyway. I might as well stream them and explain things to people. That's kind of my job. That's why I stream. And I don't stream every launch. I stream as many as I can. And as many as makes sense to when I'm available. One beat short. Scale of the nose cone is quite visible with the toy trucks on the road. That's what's crazy. That nose cone is so big. It makes, Starship is so big. It makes everything else just look tiny. 9 meters wide is no joke. Nelson Clark, how long do you think between nose cone install and 15-kilometer flight will be? I'll be shocked if even though the nose cone is starting today, there's a lot of subsystems in there, a lot of things to check out. I'll be shocked if it flies before the end of October. I'm planning to probably leave, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what Elon says and stuff like that, but I'll be very, very shocked if it leaves the ground. Mark my words. Put a little note in your notepad. If it leaves the ground before October 31st, I will be shocked. I would do a 20 push-up bet on that. It leaves the ground on purpose under its own propulsive power, attempting a 15-kilometer hop. There we go. I can't wait for your new channel and daily vlogs when you're on Mars. Vlogs when you're on Mars, everyday Martians. Bringing back Mars for everyday Earthlings. Now that I'd probably have to do. If I was on the surface of Mars, I think I would owe it to everyone to give you a daily vlog of what it's like. Speaking of vlogs, Happy Hacking video blog. Hey, Tim, sorry to bug you about this here. I upgraded my Patreon support to $10 a month before October 8th, but still got... Oh, hang on. Discord, can one of the admins figure that out? I'm really sorry about that. I think sometimes if you just refresh in Patreon, like cancel your thing and restart it in Patreon, it'll relink the automatic thing and it should be fixed. Anyone have any other tips for that? Because I think, because it dynamically links automatically no matter what, I think that'd be the best way to do that because it's all a bot that handles that stuff for us. So I think that might be the best way to cancel and uncancel or change your tier and then change it back and it will be fixed. Hopefully that works. I don't know too much about the back end of that stuff. I'm sorry that happened. That's weird that it got kicked out. Hopefully that's not a common issue because I don't know how people would really let us know. Apogee says, SN8, as I'm calling it, SN8 knows going on the move. Absolutely. The beast. And thank you also very much, Snate. Or not Snate. Who was that? Apogee, I appreciate that. This is from CB4U, here for the Sunbeam Turbo Steam Master Professional Iron. Is that what I'm supposed to get? A Sunbeam Turbo Steam Master Professional? I don't know if I need that. Might as well just get like a spray bottle and use an ironing pan or something because I will hardly ever use an iron. But thank you. Carrie Ann says, thank you very much. Well, thank you, Carrie Ann. Or she just said thank you. I'm saying thank you very much. Thank you, Carrie. I really appreciate that. The Elon Gamer, skyhooks just go extreme yeet. That is true. That is 100% true. We'll see if we ever get to see a skyhook. Small Stars has a really good video. I think it was Small Stars. Someone had a really good video about skyhooks. Matthew Mitchell, thank you so much for your tip. I appreciate that. This is from Elijah. Thanks for what you do. I love your videos. Well, thank you very much, Elijah. Thanks for saying hi. I like making videos too. I know, trust me, I know I don't make them as often as any of us would prefer. I work absolutely as hard as I can, but it's still just hard to do. Still hard to get content out, of the caliber that matters to me, the kind of content I want to produce. It's hard to get that stuff out quickly. James Mehedo says, go Team Space. I thought the Photon second stage was a satellite, so you would want it to go into orbit. The Photon is the third stage. There's actually 3 stages of Electron. The Photon sits inside of the fairing. The second stage intentionally deorbits itself. Good question, though, James. From Happy, space game idea, something similar to Warcraft, but building research and launch infrastructure at Boca Chica. Ooh, that'd be cool. Where you build almost like a Sim City / yeah, that would be cool. I love strategy games like that a lot. Super Sim 135, why don't you post on SoundCloud anymore? I just don't have time. I want to make more music, but people want me to make videos all the time. I have a backlog of videos. I have videos that I've wanted to make for 2 or 3 years that just don't always get in there. So music, I probably have to set aside like a day a week just to be able to take a day off and play music for fun. And maybe I will be able to put some new music up on SoundCloud. Russell Hart, choose a test payload for Starship. Maybe a semi-truck as an upgrade to Roadster. I still think what they need to do, open up the mouth of Starship, have literally a glass encased or like a stage with every available Tesla model on it with live feed cameras. So when you go to Tesla.com to shop for a Tesla, you literally like are scrolling through cameras in space that are like live streaming the actual models that you're shopping for. And they're just in orbit or they're in, like a geostationary orbit or something. I think that would be the coolest thing ever. Would be to have it actually be, because there's plenty of payload capability. It could literally put the entire fleet of Tesla models up into low Earth orbit, or even with 21 tons, you could basically put the entire fleet of all the way out to geostationary transfer orbit. You'd still have to inject it. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would make it so when you go to Tesla.com, you just see a live feed of every car you're shopping for. You'd click around and see a different feed of it, and it'd just be hanging out in space. That's what I want to do. Spook the Gamer again. How's it going? Again, thank you so much. Will you ever fly on the Earth? Yes. I did answer that question a little bit ago. I'm sorry that it took so long for me to get caught up to you. But yes, I think I will eventually. I definitely think I will eventually. I think I'll want it to fly hundreds of times and be certified by like the FAA clearance and everything to do human flight point to point. But absolutely, that'd be very cool. Razimbot. A rainbow. I'm assuming that's a sticker. Thank you so much. Let me see. Let me look on the actual thing. It'll tell us. It was a beautiful rainbow sticker. Thank you so much, Razimbot. Paul from Norway. Daily vlog. No, vlog. Important. That is an important distinction. This is from Cutsy, and then I'm going to be getting out of here. And Razum. Thank you so much, Cutsy. I really appreciate that. And from Razum, do rockets carry TCAS transponders? Could you please ask Mus? Can anyone tell me what TCA? I'm sure someone in Discord will have that answer. Boom. Anybody know TCAS transponders? If I know what that means, I might be able to tell you what it is. Traffic collision and avoidance system. The rockets, I don't think do, because they are in a cleared out zone. There's a whole exclusion zone along the path of the ascent of rockets. So the rocket themselves do not need to have like some kind of avoidance. They're not nimble enough. They can't fly, like they're on a very, very exact trajectory. So everything else has to be out of the way. However, Starlink does have its own avoidance system that they have developed to help it so it can automatically navigate and negotiate with each other to not run into each other and run into other satellites. So, yeah, in a sense, there is a traffic collision and avoidance system. So thank you to all of you that taught me what that is. I really appreciate that. And from, again, thank you so much. Oh, and hi, I never know how I'm supposed to actually say it. Don't ever compromise quality over quantity. Thank you. That means a lot. I will maybe be hoisting myself on my own petard with this, but I just absolutely, it matters to me that it stresses me out because I care so much about the quality of what I do that I don't want to just put, fluff out there. Like I want it to be in depth. And the response has always been positive. People like the in-depth stuff. Like you can find stuff that scratches the surface everywhere. You can read a Wikipedia article and scratch the surface on something, but to really get that ingrained knowledge, to go deeper, go as deep as we can on a subject, it takes time. It takes effort. It takes good visuals. That's the other thing. For me, I'm a very, very visual learner. If I can't learn visually, I have to ask 100,000 questions. I have to have a patient teacher. I have to have, luckily there's people I can call now that will just take my call and let me just ask them questions for an hour. And that's how I learn. But when there aren't good visuals for things, then that's important to me, is to come up with good visuals. With that Artemis versus Apollo, Andrew and I had to work forever to make sure we understood how the orbits work and to draw them out visually so you could get a good sense of the two different orbits between Artemis and Apollo. That matters. That to me is how that stuff sticks. That's how that stuff sticks. That's how I can teach that stuff, is by having good visuals. So we're always working on that. And yeah. All right, my friends. Oh, and then also from Gabriel, I prefer quality over over a rapid upload schedule or a RUS. Thank you. It's not great for me, but that's okay. It's funny because people act like I would be incentivized. You are incentivized on YouTube to crank out content constantly. That's the machine. That's the machine they want you to become, is just upload. And that's the pressure that you can get. I know people, yeah, but to me, it's like, that's not what it's about. This is a way bigger topic than just something, that it's not just about how often you upload and how much ad revenue you can make. It's about making content that teaches. That's what Everyday Astronaut is. That's what bringing space down to Earth for everyday people is all about. And from Marolski, thank you so much. Maybe just do a launch live with just a music and no words. I don't really want to do that on top of, people would complain. All right, my friends, I'm going to head out of here, though. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will do the launch day coupon code for merchandise if you guys want. But I'm going to get out of here so I can get back to work on a whole comprehensive video on what's different between Starship and Falcon 9 and how they work. I realized now that I'm almost done with the script that I should probably also just include all the specs for Falcon Heavy, just so you can see it lined up there too. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. If you want to help me continue to do what I do and you want to join access to our Discord channel where you can learn what I'm working on in the scripts and stuff like that, consider becoming a Patreon supporter by going to patreon.com/everydayastronaut. You guys mean the world to me. So thanks, everybody. That's going to do it for me. I will see you tomorrow morning. And then, yeah, that's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. Goodbye, everybody.